Whenever you are ready, you may start.
Good afternoon, my friends. Good afternoon, sir. Today, I and my friend Danny, we are going to present our presentation on our article that's GMO.
Here's the pre-discussion questions about GMO. Do you care about your health?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, everyone?
Definitely do.
Yeah,
of course.
What is your general attitude toward GMO in your country?
For instance, in Russia, it always said like without GMO, so I guess like
It is prohibited in Russia.
yeah, it is actually.
Same.
So, anyone else?
I'm not sure about America.
It is legal, just labeling, I think, and that's all.
What about in China?
Yeah, people holding the negative active. Most of them holding the negative active, and in the supermarket, some product will mark as not GMO food. It usually will have a better sales.
So it's like it's marked in the supermarket, for example, like if you go to take banana or something, it's
Yeah.
marked like this is not GMO. It's
Yeah.
like okay.
Next question.
Do you eat GMO food?
Sometimes you have
Sometimes we do.
Yeah, you don't have the choice, right?
I'm pretty sure that like fast food is GMO, so I think everyone eats fast food.
Like, how should we know if like the food contain GMO or not?
Like watching the labeling probably.
Like if you see, for like example, if you go to Publix, Whole Food Market, Walmart, there are two types of tomatoes. For example, if we take one tomato is like the natural tomato, we can guess like the oval shape, it's like the egg shape, and the next tomato, it's like we can guess it that this is like preservative. It has injected as something. It's like completely round and completely red in color, and which is packed in like a good package and all that to present that this is good quality, and the outer one is like the bad quality ones.
Alright.
So what do you think of the future of food? Like will it contain GMO and how it would affect people's health?
Like GMO is not only a big thing about a bad thing about like food. There are many other things like which we should care about. So like if you talk about GMO, I think it's like the production is interested in making the food with GMO, so I think it wouldn't like disappear or something.
Okay, let me ask this. So the main article that I read in page 375 in our book, Tama Haspel supports genetically modified food. And he gives an example about the experiment with 100 billion modified food. 100 billion animals that were GMO, they were genetically modified. And the other thing, they are labeling safe products. So he says like, why do you need to label products if they are safe? And he says that we've been modifying crops genetically throughout years. So people been trying to modify the products, the food, like thousands years ago, so it won't disappear. So there are a lot of experiments, and the scientific tries to explain that the food that was thousands of years ago is not the same like it is now. So it's all changed. Who are those who are against GMO? So there's another question that the author asks us in the article. So he says no effect, in fact no effects at all attributable to a switch from non-GMO feed to GMO. So on page 376, and you can just read it now. So you say like there's no difference, like cow being like twice bigger.
Just like the hybrid cow, we can say, it has been injected like to get the more milk. Like they use some of types of chemicals to inject in her body to get more milk.
So can you say that this is the way the cow should look like?
Not yet.
No way. Obviously not, yeah.
So like the rabbit asking modify me.
Can you read that red balloon?
Modify me, make my dreams come true. So like 100 billion animals is not like it's not a really small number of animals being modified.
So like I'm having a question. Do you really think that, as per the article, as per the author says that we have experiment 100 billion elements as a result? So do you really think that the author is trying to say true to us that he really experimented 100 billion animals on like for GMO?
100 billion can you know? Yeah, why?
Yeah, we know.
I'm not sure if he was a person, but like all around the world probably.
So how he can
How
take
can he
all
can
the
that make a
Statistics probably.
So do you think he like took statistics how the animal died, like his health, other stuff?
It's like because 100 billion animals is not like a small amount.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure if he took like animal by animal,
Yeah.
but I don't
So
know.
I'll explain how do they find the effects. If they short-ended lifespan of those animals, the dairy and beef cattle from 50 years to 4 years. So the modified animals lived like nearly, you can say like 15 years they lived without GMO, and now they kill them where they lived only 4 years.
Like example, chicken and all that, their life stages are more than what it's been right now. So they are like, as soon as they grow up a little bit, they'll just cut it and they'll just sell it to the market.
So how can he find out the information when the animal
About 100 billion
is being
animals.
killed? Like no lifespan. Like nearly 95% of approximately 100 billion grilled chicken lifespan from 5 years to 49 days. The 49 days they put all GMO in them and they then kill them. And you can find out how it should look like because it's not 5 years.
Their life sentence, like their life age is like 5 years minimum they can live. But they are just like when approximately it comes to like 49 days, like the growth of them, and they'll just inject GMO and they'll just hybrid them and they'll just kill and sell in the
I
market.
literally saw like in Walmart. I actually tried to buy some chicken breast, and I saw something that it doesn't have like antibiotics or things like this in the chicken, and is very small. And then I found like another chicken breast that is nuts, like it should like is something like this.
Yeah, it's way
Mhm.
bigger.
I never seen like a chicken with a breast like this.
So it's way bigger and it's
Yeah.
way younger.
Yes, and it's not good.
So it's not logical, like how he can grow up so big at 49 days. So full life cycle analysis is impossible. Nothing about immune system, health and organ numbers without evidence. So it's like poor data that he gives to us. So labeling GMO, he says, is unnecessary, so because they are safe. Like 64 countries label GMO in their countries like it should be, it's law. And do you think like they are wasting their time just for fun, like labeling all this stuff? I think definitely not. So we can say that since the advent of agriculture 2000 years ago, farmers have strived to improve their crops, and I think they didn't improve their crops in a genetic level. They just tried to do something like with hands, not like nowadays with DNA.
Yes, but also like 12,000 years ago, I'm not sure that on the globe would be like such a big amount of persons, like we are 7 billion, and now we can travel like everywhere. On that time, they probably just stayed in their yard, in their castle or something like this, and they had their own farmers. Everyone would grow something like vegetables or animals at that time probably.
Yeah, but it's like since it's not like only 12,000 years ago. So like 1,000 years ago, people didn't modify with DNA.
Right now also, like if we see some of the countries, like they just depend on the agriculture base, like the wheat, jowar, paddy and all that. They grow by the naturally. They work hard in the farm they pour the water and all that, and they grow it and sell in the market. And like if you know, like some of the countries, they just modify them with the plant, and the plant will grow within like a month or two.
But it's not our choice, like, it's the choice of the production and those people, because like they're interested in making the food cheap and to sell it to us. That's it. Like, I guess everyone here would be like would eat like good and cheap food than would eat bad and like cheap food as well. So yeah, I guess like if we could, we like, I mean, if we wanted to do anything, like we couldn't do anything and at the same time. So
I don't know. We can say like the food that not being modified is not so tasty. You mean that?
yeah, that's one thing, and the other thing is like it would be much more like much more expensive to do this food. So to produce.
Yeah, but like if you eat nowadays, you say you know that in every food there's sugars. We watch the presentation, the video, the TED talk.
Yeah, and said like you should pay more to eat like locally.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like,
But
do
if
you really think that that's good food for your health?
No.
For just like for a few cents, yeah, for a few dollars.
Yes.
Okay, that's your choice. So that's your choice for your health as well.
Well, it was scientifically proved that it is safe.
Yeah, scientifically proved by what? By what experiments? Like there's controversial experiments and scientific proofs. There's no like one definite thing that they say about the GMO. So you can't say like it's not or it is. We're not saying like it's definitely not unhealthy and other stuff, but we're not saying that it is.
I think you need to find a reliable source. So,
Reliable source?
yes, reliable source.
Reliable source. How you rely on the internet, because everyone tries to find.
They got the different
reliable source.
answers, like we grow the food in the green plantations and all that. But as we see the green plantations, like they doesn't grow naturally in green plant. They use the chemicals to grow in a green plant and all that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is 2301D. Which room are you looking for?
No, my class is 2304.
That's near the let me see if it. Sorry. You can just.
So reliable.
So why do you think they use like GMOs in animals and plants?
To increase the amount of money coming from selling and decrease the amount of time that they spend.
Have you tried like to think at this like problem from other perspective?
Like what perspective?
It's like we need to eat,
Yeah.
okay, and in 4 years we can have like cow, and before like they use like GMO, it took like 15 years to have a cow for it. They actually kind of try to help everyone, to give everyone food.
So do
This
you
is
think,
my point
yeah,
of view.
okay, so do you think that after being modified food, the poor countries now have some food to eat?
Yes,
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So how you find the reliable sources? Like nowadays, the companies pay money to scientists to write them what they need to write, to take their profit, to make their income much bigger. It's like money everywhere. So like the most GMO opponents are anti-science, they're anti-GMO. Like it's not really logical. So why do you say like most GMO opponents are anti-GMO? How do you how can you describe this word in the book? What do they mean? Like here's the scientists, like a couple of scientists with PhDs, like making some proofs that the GMO is not healthy for you, that the animals, if they grew a little bit more than like 5 years, they could have cancers, and that could cause a lot of diseases for you and your children and
Because like we are not sure that what type of chemical they are injecting in the animals to grow them, and like what if the chemical doesn't support your body.
Yes, it's not like healthy.
Yeah.
No one said that it's healthy.
So second article.
Our second article is like a GMO is dangerous for our health. So we got some points like food allergy affects approximately 5% of children and adults and 2% of adults in United States. So as for the data from the Jeremy, it's a website that Institute of Research and Health Department. So there's a guy named Jeremy is a scientist. He proved, and that's the recent data of November 7, 2018. 17. That he, as per his data, like 5% of the children of America, they are like allergic for the different types of food, and 2% of the adults. Most plants produce substances that are toxic to humans. So as we know, like I like the fragrance, we all like the fragrance, but we are not sure like what kind of fragrance they are. Like for example, there is a plant, like tulsi plant, for example, Nemia tulsi plant. If we smell it, it looks really nice when it's get naturally. But when you buy the perfume of tulsi plant, it's totally different smells than what we smell it as naturally. So we are not sure that what types of chemicals they are using in it. So like some of the body chromosomes, they are not like, if for example, if I consider my example, if like I drink, like if I smell tulsi or something, I get headache or something like, so all bodies are different. Risks are greater for children and newborn. Foreign proteins may be different than what is injected. As the same, like we asked, like food allergy affects 5% of the children and adults, and the examples for that are eggs, fish, milk, seafood, etc. Like some of the eggs right now we know that first, like if you see before like 5-6 years, there were only like one kind of egg, that's only white color. Right now we can get like brown and green color too in a whole food market. And I know in Britain we used to get the brown eggs too. So I don't know how they are getting the brown egg. And if you know, like some of the stores, if you go, they got this much small eggs, and it's written like it's a chicken eggs. So I'm not sure that how this much chicken comes into this much egg.
I think it's a different kind of chicken that gives the brown.
Yeah.
It's kind of simple, but I think the food allergies could be many other different things besides the peanuts.
These are like the common allergies with adults and children used to have. Like some of the has like the fish allergy, milk allergy. Like they can't smell some of them they just need like the whole milk. They can't drink the like 2% milk or so. Nerum oblata are quite well known as being poisonous. If you see this plant, it's in our university too, around the campus. If we smell this plant, it smells really nice. But the scientific says knowledge, it's been approved by NASA that if we smell this plant for like more time, it directly affects our nerve system. And this plant is like all over our university. It's like, it used to be in different colors like pink, white, and if you see like the cancer hospital, as USF Cancer Hospital, they got the red color plants. So if you smell like all three plants, they smell differently. So I don't know how it smells differently, because as per the scientists, they says that this plant was only, when it was like found, it was only white color, and the smell was totally different from what it is right now. As we explained, the risks are greater for children and newborn. Embryo development can be badly affected for like the women who are like the ladies who are pregnant and like the baby is in their stomach, and if they eat like such kind of food which is not good for them, it will directly embarrass to the baby too, because it's inside the mother's stomach. So what mothers will drink, what she will smell, it will directly affect to the baby too inside. It's like 400 increase in allergy since GMO were introduced.
Where is that statistic from? Is that the second article? Or?
That's the second
That's the
article.
second article.
Foreign proteins may be different than what it's inducted. As we discussed, like if we go to any like food right now, if we go to like Subway or somewhere, we doesn't know how they make the bread or something, how they produce the oat. From oat they convert into bread and all that. So like oats, it needs at least 24 hours, as for my research, to convert into bread. But right now oats, like if you see, they are like, if you read the labels of ingredients, it's like it will be ready within 5 minutes. So I'm not sure how that oat, the powder which says, which is converted into bread, it ought at least need 24 hours. So like, I'm not sure about it.
Actually, first time when I came here and I was to Walmart, I tried to buy bread, and ever in my life I didn't saw like such a synthetic bread. Never. I literally, like in Romania we have bread like this, but not so smooth, you know. This is not like natural thing.
Yeah, like if you see like different places, if you go to Walmart, they got different bread. If you go to Publix, they got different bread. If you go to like food market, they got different bread. And if you see the quality of bread, it's like one is soft, one is a little bit like the crunchy ones. Yeah.
So the main discussion question, based on Haskell's article, who are GMO opponents in your opinion? Who are the opponents of GMO? No idea.
What was the question?
Based on Haskell's article, who are GMO opponents?
There's a question in the
alright.
behind. First one.
The people who are against the GMO, who are they?
Like what kind of people, if you like, for example, what kind of people you think that they will be opposed of GMO? You know?
Everyone, like it's like the war between production and the normal people who buys this food, and yeah.
From the science as well?
Maybe the people who eat traditional food, because the GMO is kind of new for him, so they might don't believe this GMO is kind of health for them.
Yeah, I agree with your answers. Like we saw some articles in Google. Like if you see the people like living in villages and all that, who are like completely dependent on the farming, and if we say them like something like this, they will say that no, we are not going to eat that. We'll just eat what we made at home or what we prepared by ourselves.
So which article is more relevant to you? The one who supports the GMO or the second one that we presented?
The second one.
I think the second one.
Does today's food has proper nutrition? What do you think about that? Or it depends on the country, the nutrition?
It depends on the place where you buy it, because you can find like bio stores and yeah, you pay more for natural food, but there is no price when we talk about your health.
How would you react if you were genetically modified? If you were given genetically modified food to eat? Like if you force, like someone forced to eat, like no, you just want to eat only GMO food. So how will be your reaction?
You have no other choice. Why not?
Is anybody really forced? I mean, for example, we all said we go shopping at normal markets, it's buying GMO food, so I don't know if any of us are in a position to say we're forced to do it.
There's like marketing, like psychologically we're being forced to buy like those more attractive products that
Like they will just, they won't sell any regular products, they'll just sell what's like attractive and all that.
So forced meaning no choice.
Force you to buy
Too
and
much.
force you to pay double instead of just paying the single amount. So how will be your reaction when you see such kind of things?
I don't know, revolution.
Okay, thank you.
Có mấy câu
Okay,
mấy
thank
câu
you.
khó nhận.
That's enough for us.
Alright.